Rumors are starting to heat up that this fight with Saul Canelo Alvarez, who is undoubtedly the face of boxing, his fight against Terence Crawford is officially a done deal. That's what's going around. Salute to Fred, Barbershop Conversations. Salute to Blue Blood Sports TV. Salute to all of the boxing people out there that are saying that this fight is reportedly a done deal. And it's believable because after Terence Crawford's performance against Israel Majamov at 154 pounds, which was Terence Crawford's debut at that weight class, Canelo Alvarez said that that fight made him interested in actually taking the fight because he liked how Terence Crawford wasn't really moving around too much. He said that Terence Crawford didn't look as dominant as he usually looks at that weight class, and he loves the fact that he wasn't moving around too much because that's the style that he likes to fight. He likes to fight guys that's going to stand toe-to-toe with him in the ring and box, right? Canelo doesn't want to have to do too much walking around and chasing people down. So Canelo basically told the world that after Terence's last performance, he's looking at Terence Crawford like food, y'all. And see, me from day one, I always thought Canelo would beat Crawford. But after me seeing how Crawford looked against Majamov, I think Canelo would knock out Crawford, right? At first I said he would just win the fight. Now I hands down think he would brutally knock out Terence Crawford, because what you guys got to understand is if this fight indeed does happen, this fight is not going to take place at 154 pounds. This fight is going to happen at 168 pounds, which is a huge difference, right? It's not like going from 140 to 147, right? It's not like going from 147 to 154. This is going from 154 to 168, right? Which is close to light, because light heavyweight is 175 pounds, which is the weight class that Canelo has already fought at, and he's had success at, right? He beat Rocky Fielding. He lost a fight with Dimitri Bivol, but he still looked good in there, right? He looked like he belonged in that ring, right? It's not like Canelo got dropped or knocked out. He just lost the fight by the points, right? So when you look at Terence Crawford's last opponent, Israel Majamov, right? This is a guy who at the time only had 11 professional fights. I want you guys to think about this. Israel Majamov, at the time that he fought Terence Crawford, he only had 11 professional fights. And when he fought Terence Crawford, he gave Crawford a lot of problems. He was very unpredictable. His style is unorthodox. He had no problem hitting Terence Crawford, right? Like, it's not like he was in the ring with Terence Crawford and he was missing a majority of his punches like Errol Spence was when he fought Crawford. Nah, most of the punches he was throwing, it was landing, right? And Terence Crawford felt that power because you didn't see Terence Crawford just walking Majamov down the whole fight. Majamov was walking Terence Crawford down a majority of the fight, right? But because Terence Crawford is one of the most skilled boxers in the history of boxing, I got to give him credit when it's due, which is why he's a 4-division weight champion, which is why he's a 2-time undisputed champion. He went undisputed at 140, and he went undisputed at 147 after he beat Terence Crawford, right? So Terence Crawford is very skilled. So even though Majamov was walking him down for a majority of the fight, because Terence Crawford is so skilled, he was able to have a lot of success on the back foot, backing up and still being able to land punches, throw the jab. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just has the boxing IQ to do that, right? Similar to like Floyd. Like, Floyd is another fighter who can have success on the back foot and still want to fight, right? But what I'm trying to let you guys know is Crawford got hit a lot in that fight, and he felt that power. And if you look at his face after his fight against Majamov, one of his eyes was almost closed up. You understand what I'm saying? One of his eyes was almost closed up from getting hit so much by Majamov, feeling that power. You understand what I'm saying? So the fact that Crawford is willing to go up to 168, right? So I want you guys to think about this, right? This nigga only had one fight at 154 and didn't look that good, right? Even if you look at what a lot of professional boxers said, a lot of professional boxers said Bud didn't look good in that fight with Majumov. But let's stay focused, right? You only had one fight at 154, and you're telling me that your very next fight is gonna be a fight at 168 against the face of boxing, against Canelo Alvarez? Really? Like, this doesn't make any sense. And this is what happens when people in your circle don't tell you the truth. You see, if Bomac and all these people that's close to Bud, if they really cared about him, if they really cared about his legacy, they would tell Terence Crawford, hey, man, you should have at least 2 more fights at 154 and see how you look before you decide to do this. But the reason why they're not doing that is because Terence Crawford, he's already thinking about retirement, right? At this point in his career, right, he's trying to get paid. And he knows, and his team knows, Bomac knows, and shout out to his trainer, Bomac, if this fight truly does happen with Terence and Canelo, this is going to be the biggest payday of Terence Crawford's career, right? Because he's going in there with the face of boxing. You understand what I'm saying? So with that being said, even if Terence Crawford were to lose this fight, it doesn't really matter because, if this fight does happen, it's 100% going to be his last fight, and it's going to be the biggest payday of his career. So that's why the people around him aren't telling him to not take this fight, because they don't want to miss out on that payday, man. Everybody that's a part of his team, his trainers and all that, they're all going to get the biggest paydays of their career, right? But, guys, Canelo Alvarez has one of the best chins in the history of boxing. We got to give credit when it's due, right? And it's crazy because at this stage of Canelo's career, he's slowing down, right? He doesn't like I think a lot of people would agree that it looks like Canelo is on the back half of his career, right? It looks like he's slowly but surely getting out of his prime. But even though, he's aging as far as boxing, he's still young. I think Canelo's 33, 34. But as far as boxing, when you look at how many fights he's had professionally and amateurly, Canelo is a veteran, bro. You understand what I'm saying? But even at this stage in his career, he still has one of the best chins of boxing. He's never been dropped before. In any pro fights, he's never been dropped, never been knocked out. This guy went up to 175 pounds and fought Dimitri Bivol. Lost by unanimous decision, but he handled that power phenomenally. Never got dropped. Never at any point in the fight looked like he was going to get knocked out. He just lost the fight. He got outboxed, right? Dimitri Bivol had a great game plan, and he outboxed Canelo Alvarez, but he never hurt him. He just outboxed him. And this was at 175 pounds. This is at light heavyweight. You understand what I'm saying? So when you look at Canelo's last 2 fights, he fought Jaime Munguia at 168, and he fought Edgar Berlanga at 168. These are 2 fighters that are natural 168 pounders. They've been in the division for a while, and Canelo dropped Jaime Munguia, beat him by unanimous decision, and Canelo dropped Edgar Berlanga and beat him by unanimous decision. And Edgar Berlanga, even though he has a shitty resume, he still is known as a knockout artist. And there was no point in that fight with Canelo and Edgar or Jaime Munguia where Canelo looked like he was going to get knocked out. So I just don't understand why people think Terence Crawford is going to go up to 168 and even have a slight chance of beating Canelo Alvarez. I'm already seeing people say that if this fight happens, Crawford is going to win by the points, right? No, I don't hear anybody saying Crawford is going to knock Canelo out, because they know there's no chance of that happening. There's no chance in hell. There's no chance that that's going to happen, right? So people are basically saying because Terence Crawford is so skilled that he's going to beat Canelo Alvarez by the points. He's going to outbox him, right? Similar to how Floyd outboxed Canelo, and similar to how Dimitri Bivol outboxed Canelo. Let me be the first to tell y'all this, bro. Terence Crawford is not Floyd Mayweather. And Terence Crawford is not Dimitri Bivol. Let me explain. Floyd Mayweather, his resume is way better than Terence Crawford, right? I don't even have to tell you guys who he beat. Just go look it up, right? I'm not even gonna waste my time on that, right? Dimitri Bivol fights at 175 pounds. Terence Crawford has never fought at 175 pounds. So you can't compare what Dimitri Bivol or Floyd Mayweather did against Canelo and then compare it to Crawford, because those are complete different fighters. You can't compare Terence to Floyd or Dimitri Bivol. It just doesn't make any sense. So anybody out there that's doing that, you're being stupid. I'm gonna just tell you what it is. You're being stupid. You're not being realistic. You're living in the fantasy world. You understand what I'm saying? So if this fight truly does happen, Terence Crawford is gonna get knocked out in brutal fashion. And even though it's gonna be the biggest payday of his career, it's gonna stain his legacy, bro. It's gonna stain his legacy 100%. Because right now, after his performance against Errol Spence, you started seeing a whole bunch of people, compare Terence to Floyd. Some people are even saying Terence is better than Floyd because Floyd Mayweather never went undisputed. Terence Crawford has been undisputed twice. 4-time division champion, right? So people feel like Terence has something over Floyd. But if Canelo knocks out Bud, not just beats him, but if Canelo knocks out Bud, those comparisons are done, because we all know Floyd Mayweather beat Canelo Alvarez with ease. He just straight up embarrassed the fuck out of Canelo Alvarez. So that's my prediction. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe, thumbs up, leave a comment. I'm on.